All right, here we are, the first edition of Raw or SmackDown. Richie Mars, what's the concept?
So the concept is if these stars are retiring tomorrow and we have to hang a jersey up on the rafters, what color jersey are they going to be? Are they going to be a Raw jersey or a SmackDown jersey? What show did they have the most impact on, and what show has been the most good to them? We're going to find that out right now.
Yeah, pretty much what the vibe is, a Raw or a SmackDown guy. I'm more of a Raw guy historically. Richie's more of a SmackDown guy. Malik, what are you growing up? Were you like more excited for Raw? What kind of show did you kind of gravitate to?
SmackDown for sure.
Hey.
Yeah, old heads for Raw all day.
SmackDown, well, it would depend on year by year actually, but when I first started getting into it, SmackDown was pretty legit, man. It would depend on year. Like some years it could be Raw, some years it could be SmackDown, but I always gravitated towards SmackDown more. I feel like they always had the better stories, better characters, better matches, you know.
All right, well, let's see what wrestler we gravitate to. All right, Malik, we're up for your second wrestler here, and it is...
No whammies, no whammies.
All right, Sasha Banks, gut reaction, Raw or SmackDown? Richie Mars, start it off. What do you got?
I have to go with SmackDown.
Okay. Gut reaction, Raw or SmackDown? Malik?
Man, kind of even balance there with that one. I'm not going to lie to you.
It's a good one.
I'll say Raw.
My gut reaction tells me Raw, but in my head, I can see a SmackDown case for sure. I feel that I can't get past the Charlotte feud. Let's take a look at her stats. All right, we think her best year on Raw is 2016, Team Bad, her feud with Charlotte in 2016, her feud with Becky in 2019, her 2018 return on Natalya, and the Tag Team Champions as the Boss and Hug Connection are some of her Raw highlights.
And going on to the SmackDown side, her premiere year is 2020 with the Thunderdome team with Bayley when Bayley became the role model. Then we have the WrestleMania 37 main event as the SmackDown Women's Champion, the feud with Bayley in 2020, the feud with Carmella from 2020 to 2021, and the team with Naomi in 2022.
136 Raw matches, 61 SmackDown matches, 69% of her TV matches were on Raw, and 31% were on SmackDown. I did not expect Malik to be that much of a lopsided matches. I felt that she was on SmackDown a lot more than I thought. But overall, after taking a look at it and hearing the stats, has your mind changed any on Sasha for Raw versus SmackDown?
These stats are pretty legit, man. Good Lord, there's a lot of digging right here. I still feel like Raw. I mean, the debut on Raw, the stuff with Charlotte, even though, gosh, they changing the championship like every single week. Their matches are really good, though. They had really good matches on Raw, pay-per-views, the stuff with Becky. I actually forgot about the return. That was actually pretty dope, I thought.
That
the
was
return.
Yeah.
And then her switching the wig and stuff like that with the new look. It was something different, like, whoa, okay, that's cool. And then the Boss and Hug connection, that was cool for a minute, but they obviously don't care about the tag team division. So that SmackDown stuff, though, was pretty good. I'm still kind of digging towards Raw, though.
So it's definitely like a quantity thing for Monday Night Raw, but it's a quality thing for SmackDown. If you take a look at it, they carried the Thunderdome, Richie, in a way. And the tag team version of Bayley was much better in 2020 opposed to 2018 and 19. So there's definitely a case for Sasha Banks on SmackDown. Do you care to make it?
Yeah, absolutely. Because with SmackDown, like you said, quality over quantity, and with Sasha, she really felt like the main character on SmackDown as opposed to Raw, where Raw, she was just kind of there to kind of prop up Charlotte in a way from their feud. And when she transitioned into this awkward period with the whole Bayley story, where it's like, are they a team? Are they going to be feuding with each other? And then they had the Dr. Shelby vignettes, where it later led to the first ever WWE Women's Tag Team Championship win, which is a big deal because, again, there's only the first inaugural champion usually in history. But with the whole thing, it just kind of seemed like her Raw stint, other than her feud with Becky, was kind of an awkward period where it's like she was the baby face, but they weren't really going with her as the fans' choice. They were kind of keeping her at a certain level and not promoting her like I feel like a lot of fans wanted to see her thrive in. And when we went to the SmackDown side of things, that's when she got the opportunity to work with Bayley, to work with Bianca Belair, and to actually showcase that she can be a cornerstone of the women's division as champion.
I will say, though, that WrestleMania 37 match is historical, and it did do a good job of main eventing WrestleMania, but the build was total ass. That build was pretty bad, and I think that is kind of a kickback to Sasha being a.
You didn't like her dancing with the Street Profits?
Sasha as the girl on the TV show, I don't really think jives. I think, but if she's like 1A, B plus, all day, every day. So I don't know. I feel that SmackDown, it was good, but it was also during a downtime. I'm just going to go quantity over the quality. And honestly, what kind of puts me over the edge too is all her title wins were on Raw, which is kind of crazy. And she lost them on Hell in a Cell, whatever the PLE was. So
Sasha won all her titles on Raws, and then Charlotte won all the ones on pay-per-views. That was crazy.
That is a crazy stat. Yeah. And I think it was the first defense too in that little series as well. So
it was the first defense each time. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting booking, but in retrospect, it was all just to kind of prop up Charlotte's record, which is kind of lame, but this is about Sasha. So I honestly, the whole team bad versus Bella versus Paige, Becky, Bayley.
PCB, baby. PCB.
I don't want to get in trouble and say like some porn thing or whatever, but whatever.
That's on you, buddy.
Whatever they labeled it, I kind of established that and think of that more of a Raw thing as well too. And honestly, that Becky feud was pretty underrated too. Around October of 2019 as well, leading into the Hell in a Cell. That was kind of like when NXT was booming, AEW was on the rise. They were having like a low-key nice feud there too. So I don't know. My gut's not changing. I'm staying Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, that was the only Hell in a Cell match that happened in 2019, right?
Or did they? No, Bludgeon Brothers versus Bryan and Roman was a street fight. It might be. I'm not sure.
I was talking about the Fiend and the Rollins one.
Is that 19?
Oh, that was 2019,
God, 19, yeah.
2019. We don't want to remember that one.
That's rough. But, all right, I'm sticking to Raw. Richie, what do you got?
I'm still sticking to SmackDown. It's still my gut reaction, but I feel like I'm getting voted out here. So I'll hang the jersey up for Raw if Malik keeps his answer.
Yeah, I'm going to say Raw.
All right, Monday Night Raw it is for Sasha Banks.